I was 17 when I lost my sister. Now, usually, when telling this story, I'd say something along the lines of, we fought long and hard to get her the medication she needed, to get access to the drugs, to change the landscape of South African organ donation, to get her the lung transplant she needed to save her life. But that would be a lie, because we didn't do those things. My mother did, my father did, but me, I was a child. 13 when Jenna was diagnosed, 15 when the campaign started, and 17 when she died. I was not fighting to save her life. I was fighting to live my own, and in some ways, I still am. My sister was my best friend. We were inseparable in every way, as was our family. We were a tight-knit unit that lent on each other in all the ways a family should, for love, support, comfort, and to fight the battles that we couldn't fight alone. And my parents did just that. Boy, did they fight. They fought long and hard in every way that they could. And though I wished it, I couldn't fight. And not only could I not fight, I couldn't change what was happening. But what I could do is I could sing. I had a voice, one that I was told was beautiful enough to write the soundtrack to my sister's story, to put out into the world as a plea, as a desperate campaign for a young girl who needed more time. At 15, I stood up in front of 40,000 people at Newlands Stadium and sang the words that my sister had written. I need more time. I promise I could shine, because I wouldn't waste what's rightfully mine. This was the first time I witnessed firsthand the power of music, the power of a voice, to connect, to unify, to inspire people to act. And it was incredible. But I saw how the power of Jenna's story pulled people together, and then watched as music, as a voice, turned that story into something that people could connect with, that they could really understand, and that moved them to action. But when Jenna died, I lost my voice, not my ability to sing, but the courage to use it. For years, I wrote nothing. I sang nothing. I was numb, silent. When my sister died, I think a part of me died along with her. So much of my identity had become wrapped up in her story, in her illness, in all of her campaigns. I didn't really know who I was without her. I was really struggling, and in a terrible way, struggling with my grief and with crippling depression, which was kind of the result of not knowing what to do with the 5 years of trauma of watching my sister fight and watching everyone I loved suffer. The only way I knew how to cope was to numb everything with my vices of choice, sleep and medication. Every day I'd wake up, take a handful of pills, and coast through a day of feeling as little as possible until I could go back to where I truly wanted to be, which was in my bed. Doesn't sound like much of a life, does it? And it wasn't. But I was so incredibly terrified to feel all of the things that I knew that I hadn't yet dealt with, that feeling nothing at all, frankly, just felt like the safer option. Spoiler alert, it was not. It took years of my family supporting me, of going to therapy, of my friends coaxing me out of my self-prescribed safe room, before I slowly started to dare to feel again. One day, I found myself in front of my piano. The next day, I wrote a line, and then another. And slowly I realized something, that for me, music wasn't just a form of expression. It could be survival. It was its own kind of catharsis. I turned my pain into something that I didn't have to carry alone, and turned my isolation into connection. It taught me a lesson that my sister had already learned, but I had to learn for myself, which is that when you numb the pain, you numb the joy as well. Who's to say whether my healing drove me to write or the writing slowly started to heal me further? But whichever it was, I realized that the only way I was going to find my way back to myself, the only way I'd truly start to live again, was to unearth my story, my voice, from wherever I'd buried it, and start to let myself truly feel again. To allow myself to take up space, to be seen, to share my pain and my joy with the people who loved me and who I loved them back. And that, I've begun to realize, is the power of a voice. Whether spoken, sung, written, or lived, it has the power to transform private struggle into collective strength. As South Africans, we know this well. It's memorialized in our past, in the freedom songs of apartheid that rose from dusty streets, from homes, churches, rallies, and prisons. It's celebrated in our present, around campfires, at festivals, in the absolutely goosebump-inducing feeling of singing our national anthem, collective as a nation, as a stadium, clad in green and gold. And if we foster it, it can only swell in volume, in power, into our future. Music connects us, it unites us, and it empowers us. And right now, in a world that is overwhelmingly drowning in the noise of division, it is easy to forget just how much power we as individuals have to change it. Finding our voice, both individually and collectively, matters now more than ever. Your voice is your identity, and an honest voice and the courage to use it, that is what this world truly needs. Maybe for you, your voice is not music. Maybe it's how you write, how you lead, how you show up in your family, at your workplace, in your community. Whatever it is, the world needs it. So I'd like to leave you today with 5 things I've learned in my journey so far that I feel will really help you tap into the power of your voice. The first is to listen. Not to the noise of the world, but to yourself. Journaling, stillness, meditation, whatever helps you hear your own truth. Too often we confuse our own voices with the voices that we hear around us. The second is that honesty wins over perfection every time. The fear of not being ready silences more voices than you can count. Speak, sing, write, share, create. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be messy. It just needs to be real. The third is that you need to share your voice. You don't have to start with a stadium or a stage, but just start. Share something real and something vulnerable with someone you trust. Fourth, pain is your power. No one can escape from the pain of being human. Loss, heartbreak, loneliness, regret, these are things we all go through. But often the very things that threaten to weaken your voice are what give it weight. Do not numb it, name it. And lastly, I encourage you to find your chorus. The most powerful voices don't just speak for themselves. They amplify others. Look at your community. Whose story isn't being told? Who doesn't have a seat at the table? Use your voice to amplify theirs. Your voice matters most, not only when you speak your truth, but when it creates space for others to do the same. The power of a single voice is immense, but when voices join together, I've learned that that's when healing begins. That is how connection develops. That is how change starts. One voice can spark change. Many voices united can move an entire nation. So whatever your voice looks like, whether it be a song, a story, or a stand you take, find it and use it. The world needs it. The world needs you. And so today, I'm going to share a couple songs off my debut album that really is the first time that as an artist and as an individual, I feel like I found my voice. I'd like to invite up on stage my band, Blake and Ryan, who's going to join me to perform a couple really important songs to me that I hope will help inspire you to find your voice. Thank you. Please do it. So, I am so excited to have the honor today, both to have spoken to you, but also to share with you this project that I've been working on over the last year and a half. These 3 songs I'm going to sing for you are off my debut album. It's called A Glimpse Inside My Mind. And this was me challenging myself to put my voice out into the world. So I'm going to start off today with the song that I think was the hardest for me to write on this album. It's called I'm Fine. It's a song about loss and grief and about the automatic response we all turn to when we're anything but fine. If we could get a little bit more sound in the monitors, that would be amazing. This is I'm Fine. I hope you enjoy it. I call you again, 2 a.m., crying on the phone, waiting out the endless ring till I hear the tone. Have your number memorized, it's burned into my mind from the endless nights when I would call to hear you one more time. And every day when I wake up, I look into your eyes, the light behind them taunting me until I recognize the truth behind that fantasy. It's hiding on my screen. It fades to black. I look away from the smile I'll never see. And feel so weighed down, it's hard to breathe every time I hear your name. But it's better than this emptiness, I'd rather feel the pain. Sometimes it's hard to miss you through the anger and the shame. But slowly when I think of you, you won't feel the same.
Thank you so much. We're going to finish off this evening with probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written. And for me, this song really marks the moment that I decided that I was going to live. I wrote it completely alone, sitting at my piano. And I imagined what I would say if I could sit face to face with my depression. And this is what poured out. This is Can't Hold Me Down. I walk away, but I'm not lonely. 'Cause after all the things you did, you thought I'd stay, you thought you owned me. But that's no way for me to live. For all those years I was so numb inside. I thought I had to let you win. I thought that was the way that I'd survive. To get those years back, what I'd give. But now I know that I am stronger than you ever thought I'd be. You can't hold on to me much longer. I'm climbing out, I'm breaking free. And when I think of what it's like living underneath your thumb, a weight I wish I could describe. I've never hurt so much, yet also felt so numb. But now I know that I am stronger than you ever thought I'd be. You can't hold on to me much longer. I'm climbing out, I'm breaking free. It's called the girl. Thank you so much, everyone. Can I get a big round of applause for Blake Hellaby and Ryan Truter? Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking for and performing for all of you this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you to find your own voice. A huge thank you to Alison and everyone at TED for having all of us. And yeah, I'll hand over to you.